Hi everyone, my name is Jharna and welcome to my channel Jharnalist. So that was me throughout the first lockdown last year. For about 2.5 months, in addition to all the other household chores, cooking and childcare, and I knew I needed help. So that's when we began researching which vacuum to buy. We considered traditional corded vacuums, handheld cordless vacuums, and robotic automatic vacuums. Before, towards the end of May 2020, we finally zeroed in on the Dyson V11. So I've had the Dyson V11 for over a year now, 15 months to be precise, and I use it almost every day. I'm also often asked about it, whether it's good or not, is it useful in Indian homes, is it worth the hefty price tag? And that's why I decided to make this video, for all those of you who are considering whether it makes sense to invest so much in a vacuum cleaner. After using the Dyson V11 for over a year, I'm pretty well acquainted with all the pros and cons, all the advantages, all the disadvantages. And let me tell you, there are some disadvantages. So do stay tuned to the rest of the video for them. One point to be noted, this video is not sponsored by Dyson. It is not any kind of collaboration. We purchased the Dyson V11 with my husband's hard-earned money. It was actually a birthday gift from him to me. And yes, I was happy about it. You know you're an adult when you start asking for a vacuum for a birthday gift. So in this video, I will largely be focusing on whether the Dyson V11 is useful for an Indian home, all its pros and cons. But before that, some basic information about the Dyson V11. The Dyson V11 Absolute Pro, as it's called, is the latest model of the Dyson vacuum in India. Earlier models were the Dyson V10 and V8, and it has about 20% more suction power than an earlier model. And it's basically a handheld cordless vacuum for dry areas. It cannot be used in wet areas. The main body of the Dyson V11 looks a little bit like a gun from a sci-fi movie. It also comes with a bunch of attachments that have to be used depending upon the area that needs to be cleaned. It has to be charged before use and comes with a docking station that can be installed to make this more convenient. The vacuum functions in 3 basic modes which can be seen on the digital display screen. The first is the Eco mode, which runs for a maximum of 77 minutes. The second is the Med mode or the Auto mode, which functions for a maximum of 42 minutes. This is the mode that I use the most. And finally, the Boost mode. This is the most powerful mode. It works for a maximum of 10 minutes and you should only use it when you have to clean really dirty surfaces. Disposing of the collected debris and dirt is easy, and it's done through releasing it by pulling down on the red handle directly into your dustbin. That's basically how the Dyson V11 functions. Let's move on to all the attachments that the V11 comes with. First up, we have the high torque head. Now this attachment is generally used along with a stick, and it's best suited for carpets and rugs. After that, we have the soft roller cleaner head. Now this attachment is mainly used for hard floors, and like most other Indian houses, my entire home has tile flooring. So this is what I use for our floors. That's why you can see it is quite dirty. Then we have the mini motorized head. This is great for upholstery and car interiors. I use this on our sofa and other furniture, including our beds and mattresses. There is also another mattress tool, which is specifically designed for mattresses, of course. Next we have the crevice tool, which is of course for corners, crevices and other hard to reach or narrow spaces. I use this on our dining table chairs, our sofa and other nooks and corners. Next up is the combination tool. This attachment has an adjustable head. It's good for ceilings, corners, railings, sliding windows, blinds, curtains, etc. After that, we have the soft dusting brush. This attachment is best suited for delicate surfaces like keyboards, dashboards, shelves, and other drawers. Then comes the quick release extension tool. This helps in dusting and reaching difficult corners. It can be used along with other tools and attachments. And finally, we have the up-top adapter. This tool makes it possible to clean high spaces. Just use this in combination with another attachment and you can clean places like curtain rods, light fixtures, top railings, etc. Now all these attachments may seem a bit overwhelming to begin with, but they're not difficult to use at all. They all connect to the main body by a simple snap system. So you just plug it in where the red button is, and to open it you just press the button and they all come off. So you can use the V11 as a handheld vacuum or a stick vacuum with the help of this attachment. Now to the important part of this video. How has this vacuum fared over the last 15 months? Let's start with the advantages. The first pro of the Dyson V11 is its suction power, which is much more stronger than any other vacuum out there. It has the ability to pick up a lot of fine dust, even deep down embedded dirt that you didn't even know existed, especially from areas like your mattress or your sofa. It does a really good job. The second major advantage of the Dyson V11 is that it does such a thorough job at cleaning your floor that you won't feel the need to mop every day. Another great advantage of the Dyson V11 is that it is cordless. The absence of a cord means that you can easily maneuver it around, move it wherever you want, without having to lug a cable and a plug point with you. What's also great about the Dyson V11 is that it has a digital display screen to show you how much battery time is left. Another major problem in most Indian households is hair fall, and the Dyson V11 does a great job with picking up hair, and I think that's one of its major advantages. We personally don't have a pet at home, but I think it does the same with pet hair as well. The Dyson V11 is also well built, well balanced and sturdy. It doesn't break on falling, and I've dropped it lots of times, so that is tried and tested. A big plus with this vacuum is also its battery. It's been over 15 months, but it has never caused a problem, and it doesn't look like we'll have to replace it anytime soon. Last but not least, the Dyson V11 helps in cleaning almost every part of your home with all the different attachments for every need of yours. And all the dust that is collected is also easily visible. Now coming to the drawbacks of the vacuum. The first drawback is its weight. The Dyson V11 is a little heavier than some of the earlier models, and it can be a little heavy if you're vacuuming for long periods of time. I myself have very thin wrists, but I managed to do it for about 15-20 minutes without getting tired. Another aspect that's obviously a consideration when buying a vacuum is the price tag, and the Dyson V11 is quite costly. We bought it at a price of 52,900 rupees, and though there are at times discounts available, it still is a considerable amount. Another disadvantage of the vacuum is that it doesn't pick up things like pieces of paper or plastic or even slightly larger debris that just doesn't get collected into the vacuum, and you'd have to pick it up manually. One thing that has to be remembered about this vacuum is that it cannot be used in wet spaces or even moist spaces. This vacuum is only meant for dry areas. So if your requirement is a vacuum that is needed to mop as well, or to go over spaces that have some kind of moisture, then the Dyson V11 is not for you. By now you would know that one very obvious aspect of this vacuum is that it is not automatic. It is a handheld vacuum, which means you have to take out the time and energy to vacuum surfaces or floors or areas by yourself. So if your requirement is for something that does the job on its own, then this vacuum isn't for you. This vacuum also requires some maintenance. It has to be cleaned periodically. For example, the filter that's at the top of the vacuum has to be removed and then washed under tap water and then put to dry. And only after it's dry can you use it once again. Also, other parts of the vacuum do require maintenance from time to time, washing, cleaning, etc. Another thing is that sometimes while vacuuming, you might find that particular items get stuck into the rollers, and then you have to manually remove them, without which the roller might stop spinning. So those were all the advantages and disadvantages of the Dyson V11 vacuum. Now for the reasons why we purchased this vacuum over a robotic vacuum, which we had also considered. So one of the primary reasons we opted for this is because me and my children, we all have allergic tendencies, especially respiratory allergies, and the situation had gotten pretty bad for my kids. So I felt that by vacuuming their mattresses regularly, it would pick up all the fine dust and would save them from any issue that a fine dust allergy could cause. The other reason was that during my research, I felt that a robotic vacuum would do a suboptimal job compared to the Dyson. And when I clean a space, I like it to be perfect and thorough. I had also heard that robotic vacuums are not good at picking up hair, and that was a priority and a pet peeve for me. Another deciding factor was the Dyson's ability to pick up fine dust. Now I feel that regular, jharu and sweeping tends to make fine dust fly from one space to another space without actually picking it up. And when it comes to the Dyson, as I've mentioned before, it does a really thorough job of cleaning your floors. So overall, after using the Dyson V11 for over a year, we are quite happy with our purchase, and it's been a value for money buy for us simply because we use it almost every day. It takes me about 15 to 20 minutes to vacuum our entire 3 BHK apartment, and that includes the time I take to pick up things that come in the way. I must also mention a special word for Dyson's customer service. It's quite excellent and much better when you compare it to other appliance brands that I've personally had experience with. Someone is always available either on call or a video call, or by making a visit, or by sending a spare part whenever you need anything. Whether or not you should invest in the Dyson V11 obviously depends upon your individual circumstances, but I hope my video will help you make that decision. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. That really helps new YouTubers like me. I'll be back next week with another helpful video. Till then, stay safe and take care.